All right, everybody. Well, it's the start of our show. Now, our first guest is an author, and she's also a doctor. She wrote this book. It's called Dignity, the Essential Role It Plays in Resolving Conflict. Please welcome Donna Hicks. Welcome, Doctor. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
You've written the book about dignity, and I wanted to ask you, why write a book about dignity?
Why write a book about dignity? Well, it's something that every single one of us knows about, first of all, but perhaps we haven't had a language or a way of talking about it. So everybody that I ever come in contact with, all the people I work with, everybody wants to be treated with dignity. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, a lot of the time, if not, I mean, I even think it's a bit of a public health crisis. Most of us experience violations to our dignity on a daily basis. And even though I started out my work in international conflict, and this is how I discovered this idea of how important a role dignity plays in creating conflicts, mm-hmm. I was working all over the world, in the Middle East. Actually, I've worked on the Greek-Turkish conflict in Cyprus.
Oh my.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
we've been fighting for years.
Oh yeah, it's nothing. No dignity there. But, and what I discovered was that one of the reasons why these conflicts wouldn't be able to be resolved, that they were stuck in what we call intractable conflicts, mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10, there was always a political solution that was available for the parties. But my sense was, because of these underlying issues of dignity, that these conflicts got stuck, and nobody was addressing these, the way they were treating one another. You know, they would say, you know, not really speaking this, but their body language and everything would say, "How dare you treat me this way?" Or, "Don't you see I'm a human being? Mm-hmm. Don't treat me like this." And so I just figured out a way. And all of the years that I worked on these conflicts, I decided, wait a minute, this dignity issue has to be brought to the table, and we have to do something, find a way so that people can talk about this. It really, half the time, it's not about the borders or how you're going to divide up the land, although that's really important. Mm-hmm. But human beings want to be treated well, mm-hmm. and when we don't, we suffer. And it's so hard for us to let go of being treated badly. So I thought, all right, this is what I have to do. I have to figure out a way to get people to talk about this and to become aware of how important it is, the way we treat one another.
You had mentioned that you had been a part of some very serious conflicts, and one of the things we had talked about was you met with religious leaders after 9/11.
Yes.
Where did you do that, and what was it like?
Well, that was really tough because it was maybe 2 or 3 months after 9/11. Mm-hmm. And as you all remember, there was a lot of tension between the West and the Muslim world. And so one of the, I can't even remember who it was that organized this, but the people who organized it decided, well, maybe we should have dialogues and try to talk about the ways in which the faith communities could work together. Mm-hmm. And because at that time it was a real crisis. Obviously, it was a real crisis. And so we decided to bring the parties together just to see if we couldn't come to this underlying conclusion that, you know what, everybody's dignity matters. And we had a discussion about the dignity issues and what exactly, you know, how dignity could have explained some of the reasons why this crazy madness happened to begin with. Mm-hmm.
We talked about temptations to violate dignity, which is in your book, and you mentioned 10 of them. Can we discuss one of them right now? What's one of these temptations?
Well, so it's a bit of a long story, but the fact is we all have these instincts. You mm-hmm. know, most of us know about the fight and flight instinct. When you do something to me that really upsets me or violates my dignity, right? My temptation is to lash back at you. Mm-hmm. I want to get even, right?
This is kind of like what happened with me when the Bulgarians were writing me hate mail.
Yes, yes.
I started making jokes about Bulgarians, but then I decided, you know what, I need to stop this. Now I want
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I want them to love me more. But so what do we do?
Well, so this is what happens. Even if we do it in a joking manner, when somebody feels like you're putting them down, violating their identity, you know, making them feel like they're less than or whatever, mm-hmm. then we want to lash back. We want to get even. As I said, we have this instinct within us. So that temptation to do what, but you took the bait, it sounds like,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
You took the bait.
Unfortunately, I am human.
Yeah.
And I took the bait.
We are all human. I mean, we all do this. We all do this. I promise you, I'm a recovering dignity violator myself. I know what it's like to do this. I'm not talking from the moral high ground here. I'm talking because I've had my own problems with both violating other people's dignity and having my own violated. So the great, really exciting news about this, Steve, is that even though we've all experienced and had people treat us really badly, especially in the workplace, and their indignities are everywhere. But the wonderful part about learning about dignity is that we can, without much effort at all, we can figure out ways to honor people's dignity so that you can make somebody's day in a flash of a second like that. You can say to them, acknowledge them for something really nice that they did to you, or you can acknowledge them. Yeah, I know this doesn't come
Nothing
naturally.
yet, but we will find something.
This doesn't come naturally to many of us. But what I'm saying is that we can learn to honor people's dignity and really strengthen relationships in a way that it doesn't cost a cent, right? Give them the recognition they deserve. Tell them they did a great job, instead of, because we tend to, especially in the workplace, we tend to think of all the things that people are doing wrong, right? We like to point those things out. But there's really simple ways, and that book is filled with stories about how we can learn to honor people's dignity and how we can repair. I mean, all of us have relationships that are broken down, right? And we want to repair them. Using dignity, it's the magic. It's the magic.
It sounds like it would solve a lot more problems for me. Let me ask you, where can we get the book?
Well, the book it's on my website. People can take a look at that. It's drdonnahicks.com.
Let's spell that.
Dr. Dr. It's Dr. all lowercase. drdonnahicks.com.
Okay.
It's on Amazon.
And that's Hicks?
Hicks.
Okay.
drdonnahicks.com, all one. It's on Amazon. It's any of the bookstores. It's all around this area in the bookstores. So.
Well, we thank you for stopping by,
My
and it sounds like a
pleasure.
fantastic book. I know my wife is going to take this book and she's going to read it, and then she's going to use these techniques to make us a better couple, and I know that will happen.
Hey,
So,
that's going to happen.
ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Donna Hicks.
Thank you.
We thank you for coming. All right, we'll be right back right after this.